So, Ansh, from ESSIA, now we are moving to some general questions. Ansh, these are the question actually given by suggestion by not some of the, more than 40 grade 12 students. So, my first question about a general. I've asked more than 50 students. Out of 50, 45 students, they want to know answer for this particular question. As a head boy, how did you manage both academic and other schoolwork to score 38 point in the final IB exam? Because Ansh, I still remember there's a one side principal madam used to call, other side director madam used to call, other side boarding sir used to call you everywhere. But at the last moment, you come and sit with me, sir. Give me the paper to practice. I want to do it. My God, that's Ansh Bhansali. So, but how did you manage all this to score 38 final examination?
You know my journey in pathways pretty well, I must say, sir. I think the sole key to this is time management. For example, even though I had to move out of classes sometimes due to some meeting, like you mentioned with the director ma'am or with Manjula ma'am, the classes that I used to be in, I always tried and paid as much attention as I could and gain all the knowledge in class. That helped me because I used to spend less time after school hours for academics, and that time I would use for the council work to organize. I don't know if you remember, but we had done a Pathways Basketball League. We did athletics meet, everything. All those needed a lot of effort. And I used to use all the after school time to do that. It's not only dependent on one person as well. Like I was the head boy, I was the president. I had a lot of work to do. But it's not only dependent on that one person. Teamwork is required. I had my entire team who supported me, who always worked for the council effectively. They did all the work that I used to ask them to. So the credit is not only to me, they had also done a lot of work. So work delegation, I think, is very important in a council. If the president is nice and if the council is not good, then it's waste. Even if the council is good and the president is not nice, then they won't have the correct leader. So I think both work together and both need to integrate themselves into the work, and then only this will be possible. Without this, it's not possible.
Time management and the team, fantastic. So, being a school head boy, how did that help you for your leadership skills?
Firstly, I think that confidence is the best thing I've achieved from my tenure as a president. I can give you a very recent example. So we had this orientation week in my college a few weeks back, and I was called upon the stage in front of like 120 people to describe who I am, what I am, and everything. I feel that if I wasn't a part of the council at Pathways, then I wouldn't have gathered all that confidence to speak up in front of 120 people. I had the experience of speaking for like 10 minutes, I think, in my graduation in front of 800 people. So I thought that is just a cup of tea. And that confidence that Pathways has built in me, I feel that that is the most significant thing that will be there throughout my life now. But now that I've experienced it, not once, not twice, multiple times, in every event that we organize at Pathways, I had to do something or the other that would raise my confidence every single time. So I've progressed in that. From organizing events to sorting issues among students and teachers and behavioral issues to everything, I feel that I've also gained management skills, how to do things at the right time, who to contact if I'm in trouble, if someone else is in trouble, how to guide students towards the right way. I think management is also very important, and I've grown in my management skills as well. I've also had hands-on experience with everything because it was all real life. It was happening. I was being commented upon my work. People were talking about it. Like any other head boy, any other president, if someone else was the president, even I would comment about his or her work. So people were doing it for me. And I think that hands-on experience, those comments, those feedback that I got from the students and the teachers and everyone who watched me organize everything, I feel that that feedback has also helped me grow, not only as a leader but also as a person. I feel that through this confidence that I gained, communication skills is also developed from there only. If I meet someone new now, I have a lot of things to say because I have more experience now and I've dealt with so many things in school. I know more. I can talk about more things. I can talk to people aged from 8 to I think 60 with topics that would interest them. So I think in all these aspects, I have grown myself to a level that I do not hesitate to speak in front of anyone. And I really thank Pathways for this, because all this development has gone there only. A personal experience I would like to share is
Yes,
that
yes.
when I entered Pathways, the reason was that I was a very misbehaved child back when I used to study in Nepal. And every parents teacher meeting, my dad would be angry, my mom would be crying. And so all that had happened. And that is when I entered Pathways. And while I moved out from there, it was a very proud moment for me as well as my father that I had become the president. I had done so much work. And that's why I really respect Pathways. I really thank them for shaping me in such a way. And I'll always remember all those moments I've had in Pathways.
Oh my God, brilliant, brilliant answer. And you need to thank your parents also, because some of the qualities I have seen you from your parents, because the way they brought up and then the way they given each and everything, that also plays an important role. Fantastic. So Ansh, being a head boy, what were the challenges did you face during your DP course, and how did you overcome?
Like I mentioned, time management, it later became my strength. But earlier, when I started my council work, it was a very big problem for me because I did not know how to do my work, how to do the school's work, boarding work, this, that. It was a lot of stress on my head. But then soon I started realizing what I need to do, when I need to do. So during the weekends when I was free, I used to take some time out for myself, just be by myself, and that would help me, be mentally fine and work throughout the week. So I started taking time out from everywhere. And in late nights, I used to be with my friends. School time, I used to do my schoolwork. And after school hours, sometimes during prep or something, I used to fix meetings with either Saurav sir or anyone else for all the council related work. And sooner I started getting everything in place once I knew when to do, what to do, and everything. And like I said, delegation. In the beginning, I used to do all the work on my own, but later I started dividing the work. I started delegating all the work to my team members. So that was another solution. And then after about 3 months of me becoming the school president, not 3 months also, I think 2 months only, I started taking council work as fun work and not another burden of work that I had. And eventually I sorted myself in a better manner. I just had everything sorted. I knew what to do. Everyone was very supportive in Pathways. Like all the students, teachers, my resident parents, everyone used to have faith in me. And I think that is what made my journey so nice in 12th grade.
Brilliant. You enjoy what you do. Fantastic. And the next question where most of the students, they want to know the answer from you. That is, how did you deal with your stress, especially from your personal experience? Because I have seen 2 years as a head boy and then as a topper in the ESS class. You never came and told me, Guru sir, I am stressed, I cannot handle it. You never say this word, but I know how much stress you have handled it. So how did you deal with your stress?
I think so. For stress, the main important thing is that you need to have time for yourself to think, to reflect what you are doing in school, what you are doing in your academics. You need to know what you are doing. You need to be confident that what you are doing is right. That's why you need to have time for yourself. And that I used to take out from my weekends. Again, everything is related to the time management only, because that was the key to everything that I did in Pathways. So during weekends, I used to get time for myself. I would do what I like to do. It could be anything. Like I love watching shows on Netflix. So I just started watching that. And whenever I used to have some free time, go with my friends, chill with them, go to the juniors, ask them for food, bully them a little bit just for fun, maybe. And all that only. I think it's just that whatever you like and whatever you have fun in doing, you should continue to do that and not leave everything behind just for your work. Let it be curricular or co-curricular. I think your passion, that what drives you to live life, I think you should continue doing that, even though you have a lot of work to do.
Brilliant. Ansh, we have some last couple of questions. Can you tell me, Ansh, how ESS class is different from your other classroom teaching or other classrooms?
I think the most important thing here is integrated learning. in my course of 2 years, I think I should say 1 year only because 1 year was online. So I never felt that I have one teacher of ESS. I always had two teachers because you usually used to be in our class and you would always chit chat with all the children of your class as well as my class. And we always had a sense of belonging with the entire ESS team and not limited to only one teacher and our class students. So I think that has really motivated me, I would say, to an extent to learn about ESS and maybe pay attention in class. Because a fun fact, I used to feel sleepy compared to other classes in ESS earlier when I didn't know who you are. When we joined school in August, I think after COVID, that time I was very sleepy and all that. But then later, as and when I got to know the entire team and everything, then I would be, very excited to go to ESS class and have fun and everything. So
Yes. Yes, I still remember I and Bide Mega always used to talk when your name was announced as a head boy. Who's this Ansh? We never heard this one. What? He's a head boy? Good. Ansh, so what mistake does a student need to avoid in DP 1 and 2 to get a good grade, in your opinion?
Could you repeat the question, sir?
What mistake does a student need to avoid in DP 1 and 2 to get a good grades, as per your opinion?
All right. First is the casual attitude that they may have. This is not only limited to ESS. It is all the 6 subjects. If they feel that in the last moment I'll do this, like I mentioned about IAs, if they feel that IA can be done later on, I'm just gonna have fun right now. These are my first days in pathways. This that. Then they'll have a very casual attitude, and later they will end up getting pressurized. Then they will have stress, and then they won't have solution also. So it's better to take precaution than look for a cure, I think. So in the beginning only, we must know what we are doing, and even if we're not focusing on every lesson, we must know where the class is leading to, what is being taught, and how you can catch up even if you're not paying attention in class. You just need to know everything. You need to be sorted for all subjects, and then I think it is good to go. And I think that while you are in pathways, studying is just one part of it. There are so many other things also, right? So one must be engaged in everything to be able to motivate themselves to continue their journey in pathways. Do everything. Don't limit yourself to only academics or only council work for that matter. Like if I wouldn't have paid attention to my academics and done only council work, then I wouldn't have ended up with a 38 point in my IB. So I think doing everything is very important to get success as well as motivate yourself and just be happy for that matter. So I think do everything, know what you are doing, don't have a casual attitude always. Fun is always required to be happy, but at some point we must know what we are doing.
Amazing. Ansh, my last question of this podcast. 2 tips, those who want to become part of the student council member or a head boy.
Okay. So firstly, they must be ready to be called the teacher pleaser. Because once you enter the council, the amount of attention you have to give to teachers, the students will always feel that, oh, he's a teacher pleaser. All he does is listen to teachers, not us, this, that. But we must have patience then. If one wants to become the head boy of the school, patience is required. In a community like school, you have people who are 60 years old, 50 years old, 40, even 30, even 20, new teachers like Mr. Siddhant, so them, and juniors, seniors. You need to work effectively with them, and you will only be able to do that if patience is there. Because being the head boy, there are some decisions that you need to make, and some of the other time you will always compromise on one or the other parties. If you make one decision, students may like it, teachers may not. If you make another decision, teachers may like it, students may not. So as an overall, you need to keep all that balanced. But at the moment when you make that decision, if someone even says that, oh, he's not looking out for us, this, that, I think that they should not take it to their hearts. They should not feel bad about it. In fact, they should later on do something else that would support the students and then get a sense of belonging, work for everyone, get them together through this patience. It's very important to not get triggered because there are multiple perspectives of everyone in a school community. So you have to keep all of them together. The work of the council is like a bridge between 2 places. One is the faculty side, the admin side, and one is the students who are studying there. So you need to have all parties satisfied, and that's why I think it's very important to maintain both and balance both correctly. And it is not only that. You cannot expect to live like the others in school. All students, they can bunk classes, go here and there, do whatever they want to. You cannot do that. If you sometimes want to be in class, you will be called out of classes for meetings, for some issues that need to be sorted, or having to miss sports sometimes to plan something. So all that can only be achieved if you manage everything well. Like if you are being called out of class for some work, you need to be able to manage everything later on and cope up with everything, because this excuse will never be accepted by any of the teachers that, oh, I'm in the student council, so I must be, given some benefit of doing this, doing that. That is not accepted. So you need to sacrifice on many things, but I must say that that sacrifice is worth it. I've experienced it, and that's why I'm saying it, that sacrifice is really worth it.
Brilliant. Ansh, it's a brilliant conversation with you about your success, and all your experience will be a lesson for many DP students who want to achieve their high grade and also to be a successful student council member. Ansh Bhansali, your final words.
In my final words, for example, in my graduation, I was asked to give final words. I could only thank Pathways. When I came home, my dad said, give me some final words. I thanked Pathways. In my introduction, I thanked Pathways. And here I am, again, I will thank Pathways only. Because I really think that the whole school, not only the teachers, even the students, everyone there in that community has contributed to my success, even if it's 1% of that. They have contributed, and I am very happy that I could do all the work. I could get decent marks to make my parents happy. I could transform myself to a nice person from being the most naughty person of my class back in 7th grade. So it really lands to giving credit to the school. So finally, I would like to say that only, that I would thank Pathways. It's very nice of them to have me brought up in this way. And thanks to you particularly, because even though you were just my ESS teacher, we had been engaged with each other for almost every event, because you are also the head of Clicking Club and videos and everything. There's no count in the amount of work that we have done together. So thank you to you also, sir. You also have a very big hand in shaping me and making me who I am. That's all I would say. And for students, I would say that whatever I've mentioned right now, it is very realistic, and if they do decide to follow it, then I'm sure they will also find success.
Thank you, Ansh. Listeners, thank you for listening to Gurumantra podcast with your host, Guru Charan Kumar. I hope you enjoyed our deep dive into all the tips and tricks about ESS. If you enjoyed this episode, then we like to you help and support our podcast. Please share with others, post it on the social media, or leave the rating and the review. Thank you so much for listening to Gurumantra podcast.